guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you are here with me today. I'm so excited to be back doing another monthly video. The books that I read this month, it was a great month. It was a great month of reading, and like I told you guys in my last monthly video that I was going to kind of cut back a little bit on how many books I was reading, and I did this month. So I'm really excited to go over those books with you. I read 5 books this month, and I loved them. I loved a lot of them, and I'm really excited to get into them with you. The first book that I read, I'm not going in order, but I read Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune. My son actually got me this book for Mother's Day. He said that it looked like something I would read, and I have kind of heard about this book a little bit on Bookstagram, and I was debating picking it up or not. So I was really excited to see that he had got this for me, and that was so sweet. So this book is about Fern and Will. Fern's family owns outdoorsy resort, like cabin in the woods kind of vibe, and it's based in Canada. And Fern's father was never in her life, and it was just always her and her mother. And she went to college in Toronto, and she didn't want to take over the family business, but her mom was really excited for her to like graduate college and come back home so they could work together at the family resort and keep the Burnbank name going, because her name is Fern Burnbank. So while she's in Toronto working at a coffee shop, she ends up meeting Will, who is like this artistic painter, and he's like painting a mural in the coffee shop that Fern works at. So they end up talking and like hitting it off, but they both are like dating other people, and they're just not happy in their relationships. So they end up spending the entire day together, like doing all kinds of stuff, like going out for drinks and dinner, and they go to like a show, like a concert for somebody that Will knows, and they end up going back to Fern's house, and they just like have this magical, extravagant day together. And for both of them, it's like one of the best days of their life. And Will is not like, he doesn't live in Toronto, he just comes and visits. Anyways, they decide that in 1 year they're gonna meet up at Fern's family resort. They're not gonna have any communication with each other whatsoever, like it never happened. And then 1 year from then, they're going to meet up on the same day at the resort, and just like catch up. So a year ends up passing by, and Will stands Fern up, and she cannot stop thinking about him. Like throughout the whole entire year, she thought about him nonstop, and she just wanted to see him again and like see if there was really a connection there and keep it going. She ends up breaking up with her boyfriend, like just for like unrelated like issues, like they're just not compatible, and they both have like different dreams and goals. And so she's like ready to see Will again and see if he's still with his girlfriend. Anyways, he does not end up showing up. So Fern just kind of goes through life thinking like about the one that got away, you know what I'm saying? And she's hurt and like confused and just doesn't understand like why he didn't show up. So fast forward like 9 years later, Fern's mom story for me to like start with, because they were just kind of like going back to the past and like building the story, obviously, and just working it up from there. But like the middle and the end of this book was so good. The story got so good, and like trying to figure out like what is gonna happen between Fern and Will was like, it had me sucked in, and it just like, it was so good and surprising. And there's like a lot of unsuspecting twist in this story. There's a lot of things that make the characters who they are and why they're like important, and it builds the story, and it's just so good. It ended up being such a great story. This is definitely one romance that I would recommend, and it just was a cute story. So next we have Before the Coffee Gets Cold. This book has been on my TBR for such a long time. It's constantly talked about on Bookstagram, Book Talk. Like, I needed to get my hands on this book and read it. So this story follows 4 people. It's about a cafe, and in this cafe there's no clocks, no windows, no air conditioning, but the weather and the temperature in the cafe is always perfect. And there's an urban legend, or like a legend, about this cafe, that you can go back in time. So people always want to like figure it out and find out. So it follows 4 people who go to the cafe, and so it's the lovers, an husband and a wife, the sisters, and mother and child. Those are like the 4 people that go back in time. But it does have a little twist, because you can go back in time, but there are some rules that have to be followed, and when you go back, nothing that you say or do in that moment changes the future. And so I thought this was such a good story to follow. I do believe that this is translated from Japanese. I definitely like this story. I did kind of feel like it kind of drug on a little bit, in a sense. Like, I felt like a lot of stuff was like repeated, and I don't know if that was just because it was like translated into English, so that's like what the translations meant, and we like were like missing something. But I just felt like it kind of repeated a lot and kind of was like drawn out, especially for being like such a short book. As you can see, it's like really short. It was really good though, and I would recommend it to somebody if you just like want a short little story to read. Okay. I don't know what book I want to tell you guys about next, because I got 3 more, but they're like so good. Okay, I read Dear Evan Hansen. Like, sometimes I get into like these moods where I want to read books that are made into movies, so that my husband and I can like watch them together. So this is one of the books that I picked up, and we haven't watched the movie yet, and we need to. So Dear Evan Hansen is about Evan Hansen. He is a loner, kind of like loser in a sense. Like, he doesn't have any friends except for like a family friend that doesn't consider him a friend. And he has a crush on a girl at school named Zoe, and her brother like finds a letter that Evan writes to himself, because like his therapist is like, you know what, to like improve your situation, you need to like write letters to yourself and like boost your morale type situation. So Evan ends up writing a thinks you're a weirdo, like you're weird, and just kind of ends up calling Evan out. And so Evan is having like an anxiety situation because he thinks, okay, like Connor is going to release this letter and let everybody know how weird I am, and just like tell everybody what a weirdo I am. So he's like super scared in that aspect. Well, come to find out, Connor ends up killing himself, and the letter that Evan wrote is like what they found on Connor, and they think like, oh my god, y'all were like best friends. Connor's parents are like, oh my god, y'all are BFFs, like we need to know everything about Connor. So it literally ends up spiraling from there, because now Evan has to lie and he's getting attention, and just like so many things happen. And I know I say that a lot, but I can't tell you because it will ruin the story. It was such a good story. It was such a good book. Like it just kind of like took me back to like high school drama, and like just it was so good, and it had like funny moments and it had really sad moments, but it was a story that just made you think, and you were just thinking the whole time like, okay, how is this gonna end? What is gonna happen? And I will say though, the ending, it was good, but it wasn't great, because I felt like towards the end it was rushed, and I didn't love that. Like things in the story end up coming out, like some things end up coming out, and it just like, I felt like it was rushed, if you know what I mean. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but and so it kind of like left off on that. I felt like some things were left unanswered, but I don't know, maybe that's just me. Either way, like I give it like a 4 out of 5. It was a great story, and I can't wait to like watch the movie. But I don't know, you guys, the ending. So I have 2 more books. I think I'm gonna save the best one for last. So the next book that I read, which was actually the last book I read this month, I actually picked this book up to hate read it. Okay, everybody's like, this book is so bad, blah 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 blah. The thing is, either people really hate this book or they really love it. So I was like, you know what, I need to get the tea. I need to see what this book is about. Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. I don't know, I know like some people love her books and some people hate them, and there is no in between. Like I find like there's really no in between. Either you love her or you hate her, and I have like yet to still find out why. So I pretty much bought this book that she works with, Miles, and Miles ends up being like this emotionally damaged guy. And of course, Tate is like interested and attracted to him. And she like wants to know like what's wrong with him. And Miles ends up going home with Tate and her brother for Thanksgiving, and that's when they like come to the realization that they're like attracted to each other. So then somehow it comes out at like family dinner that like Miles hasn't had sex in like 6 years, and Tate is like, oh my god, like I want to get with him. So they end up being attracted to each other, but Miles is like, okay, like we can be friends with benefits minus the friends part, only the benefits, like I only want to have sex with you, and Tate, being like the idiot that she is like, of course, like I can hook up with you and not have feelings for you, like of course, like we can keep this totally like no feelings involved. But the more that they are hooking up, the more Tate wants to know about Miles, because like honestly, like this book was trash. Like the more, like now that I'm like actually sitting here like telling you about it, like this book was trash, but it was like a dumpster fire that you could not take your eyes away from. Anyways, Miles is just like the emotionally damaged, like has a past, like can't get over his first love guy, and Tate is the girl that wants to fix him. Like that is the story. Emotionally damaged guy who can't work through his problems, and Captain Save-A-Ho who wants to like fix this broken man. Anyways, and I guess what sets this book off for people is that there is like a conversation in this book between Miles and like his ex-girlfriend. They end up like I'm gonna spoil it, but I have to like tell you about this because this is what turns people off away from the book. So anyways, in the book, Miles is just like pretty much talking like he just had a baby with some girl, and you have to like know in order to understand the context, because at the time Miles is a teenager, he's 18, and him and like his high school sweetheart end up having a baby. It's a boy, and there's like a comment that's made in the book that like the baby looks like her, the baby looks like the mom, and blah 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 blah. And they end up saying like, oh, the baby has like big balls, like he has your big balls. And I'll try to like post the excerpt so you can read it to understand. And people found that like really unsettling, which it was like such a weird freaking comment to make. Like I don't know like why anybody would say that, but I think that it's important to the story because they were teenagers at the time when they had this baby, and as much as they're trying to be mature and like raise a family and blah 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 blah, like I think that them saying that kind of brings you back down to understand like, oh, they're still teenagers, they're still immature, they still have like an immature mind. And there was like nothing like there was nothing like perverted about like them saying that. I just think that it goes to show you that they were still immature, which they were. Like if you think about it, they were immature. But I don't know, and in the end, passing by that like awkward like conversation comment, the story was okay. Like it was manageable, like, and it ended up having a happy ending, sort of. Did it or did it not? I don't know. But anyways, yeah, so yeah, I see why people like this book. month too. Funny how that happened. I just want to preface this by saying I freaking love this book, and a lot of you guys recommended it to me. So thank you. I want to kiss you all on the foreheads for recommending me this book. It took me so long to get around to read this book. This book, literally screaming, crying, throwing up. This book changed my life. A Man Called Ove. You guys, I loved this fucking book. Like, and I try not to curse on here a lot, but like, I fucking love this book. Oh my god. This book literally puts you through all of the emotions. This book is about a man called Ove, literally. And he just lost his wife 6 months before, and he like got laid off from his job, and he's just a classic grumpy old man, and he's missing his wife. And essentially he wants to die. He wants to unalive himself. He wants to just leave the world and go back and be with his wife and just hold her and see her and love her. And there's just this book, oh my god. So every time that Ove tries to make an attempt to unalive himself, something happens. Like, he gets new neighbors who like run over his like fence in his garden, and he has to deal with that. And then the husband is like inept, and him and the wife are like, you know, him and the neighbor wife are like always making fun of how dumb her husband is. The husband ends up breaking his leg, and the wife is from like a Middle East country, so she can't drive yet. She doesn't know how to drive. So Ove has to like take her and their kids to the hospital to like be with the husband. And it's such a beautiful story. I freaking cried my freaking eyes out after I finished this story. And then I watched the movie. With my husband. It has Tom Hanks in it. It's such a good movie. I cried my eyes out. Tom Hanks is like my #1 actor. I love him. Like, he played this part so well, and the movie was actually so good too, because for the most part they tried to stay as close to the story as possible, and I love that. I loved this book. This book was all about like chosen family, and the way this author just wrote this book is literary brilliance. Like, and I'm pretty sure this is like a young adult book. I don't know. This was one of the best books I've ever read. Like, it was so good. Thinking about it, and like I said, a lot of you recommended it to me, and like it just took me so long to get around to it and read it. And if there's like a book that I would recommend, it would literally be this one. So like I said, I just want to give you all forehead kisses for recommending this book. You know who you are. In a way, you have emotionally damaged me, because I don't think another book will make me feel the way this book made me feel. So thank you a lot for that. But it was a great book. 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5, like a million. Like, just, I love it. That is the end of this monthly little recap, you guys. I loved so many things about all of these books that I read, and these were just really special books and great reads. So I just want to say thank you guys for joining me for